Hello, heroes. Joe Smith here. Out just enjoying the nice night here. Got some more interesting news headlines. Yes, more interesting news headlines. You heard it correct. What is it now? You're not going to believe this. Take a look at the map, any map of the United States of America, and all the states, shapes, and borders, because that may start changing. Yes, after over 200 years, almost 250 years since started creating states, and now it's been like some 60 or 70 years since the last state became a state, something like that. And, almost never in history, once originally some of these states were, yes, shaped differently or bigger or something, and they were split into others, but at the time they weren't really states, they were just territories. But then they took those territories and split them up into like different states, or changed it a little bit, or that, like Florida Territory originally kind of won over, and the tips of Alabama and Mississippi was part of it, and even like part of Louisiana, I think, or something like that. But then they changed it to cut the Florida Panhandle off to give Mississippi and Alabama access to the Gulf of Mexico, so they could have seaports as part of their states, and they didn't have to have stuff transported through Florida to get to their state from sea. And some other states had some interesting stories like that when they went from territories to states and stuff. But for close to 100 years now, the state map has basically been the same. Well, might start getting different now, because about half of Oregon, once they merged with Idaho, half of the counties of Oregon are now joined together and are trying to take action to leave Oregon and merge with Idaho. Why Idaho? Actually, because these counties in rural Oregon, they want to merge with Idaho because they are real conservative, old-fashioned farm, ranch, wilderness communities for that. And they like owning some land, they like owning some guns, they like hard work and get her done type attitude and family values. But problem is, for 20 or 30 years now, they haven't really had much of a say in state elections, because they get overpowered by all the liberal Antifa children that outnumber them in Portland. In fact, the last election, Oregon has like 36 counties, and 26 of them voted for Trump. Only 10 voted for Biden. Or the majority of those counties voted for Biden. The majority of the other 26 voted for Trump. But yet, the state went for Biden because of the 10 counties that voted Biden voted Democrat, including like Portland and Salem, or like the 3 biggest cities in Oregon. And those cities are mostly low income or criminal people, or minorities, or like younger people. And not saying nothing bad about minorities or younger people. I am saying something bad about criminal people though, but it's the people, these demographics in those cities. It's pretty much determining the policies and laws for the entire state. And the same thing's been happening in other states. Washington State, similar to it. Well, now half the counties of Oregon want to leave Oregon and join and become part of Idaho and redraw state lines. Either that or a possibility of them becoming their own independent state, have like East Oregon and West Oregon. What do you think? Should it be like East Oregon and West Oregon, just split Oregon in half into two states? Or should like East Oregon become part of Idaho? If the East Oregon counties become part of Idaho, that would mean Idaho would become the third largest state in America behind Alaska and Texas. It would become bigger than California because these counties, the land area, not the population, the land area, and we're talking land area size here as far as being the third biggest state, but the land area of those counties is as much or more as like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, and Delaware combined. And then if that happens, well, some of those eastern counties in Washington State that are conservative, like East Oregon and Idaho and Montana, do they join Idaho too? Become a separate state? Does East Washington and East Oregon merge together, become a separate state? What's going to happen? And then after that happens, what about the rest? New York State, does that split in half? Because half of New York State, or 3/4 of it, is actually fairly conservative and rural, just like East Oregon and Idaho. But it's all the Democrats there in New York City that outnumber the rest of the state. Same with Illinois. Does Illinois just kind of kick out Chicago? And Chicago be like a separate state run by Beetlejuice? And the state of Chicago and the state of Illinois? Minnesota, does we have like the Twin Cities as a state and the rest of Minnesota separate? We end up having just individual counties want to become a state of their own? People are asking, or people are saying, like, to the people in Eastern Oregon, these East Oregon counties, well, if you like Idaho so much, want to be part of the state, well, you just move. And they're like, well, I'm third, fourth, fifth generation, or whatever, living on this land. And it's like, why don't all these young hippies and liberals that are moving to Portland from California or wherever, why don't they go back home? It's interesting times we're living in here and experience. Never thought growing up would see something like this happening. It's like after learning about the Civil War growing up, and now it's like it could actually happen again. I mean, maybe we don't go to war. Maybe it's not like huge bloodshed, drag out, shootout battle like the Civil War was, but like maybe it's all through political movements, like counties join together to form their own state or merge with other states. Well, and on top of this, another breaking story. There's a police officer of the Portland, Oregon riot squad got indicted, charged with some sort of crime in handling riots. Said that he handled riots incorrectly. All 50 members of the riot squad quit, walked off the job. More reason for the people with brains left in them in Oregon to want to leave or become part of a different state. New Call of Duty video game, going to be like Call of Duty Portland Siege or something. Siege on Portland. Escape from Portland. Just nuts. Just absolutely nuts. Crazy, man. It's been Joe Smith, signing out.